Hey Sages, and welcome to your 2018 year ahead astrological tarot and channeling forecast. My name is Sky, and I'm here to kind of illuminate some of the spiritual and esoteric concepts making their way into your experience during this really incredible year. So, like most astrologers, I tend to go along with the theory that our new year energy kind of starts at March 21st. Again, that's the equinox time. That's when Aries time starts. It's the astrological year turnover. So until we get to then, it might still sort of be feeling like the energy of 2017. And until we kind of shake that off and until we kind of come out of that hibernation period that I feel the end of 2017 became for so many of us, we can't really enter into this incredible energy that is coming forward for Sag. So 2017 for everyone, but especially Sagittarius, was kind of a crisis year, kind of a trauma year, kind of a year that a lot of people need time to recover from. Ultimately, it would be nice if you were one of the Sagittarius who could have done that in like January and February, sort of taking that healing, finding new opportunities and experiences that reinforce sort of this new nature that's being born within you. But I do feel that a lot of 2018 does basically come in for Sagittarius to heal, to experience cellular turnover, to come face to face with why 2017 or even 2016 became such a trauma year, and ultimately to see through why that was and the people who may have enforced that within your life very strongly. Astrologically, Sages, things are sort of being set up to thrive in the future. So we have Jupiter in Scorpio right now. That's your planet. You are ruled by Jupiter as a Sagittarius. And being that Jupiter is in Scorpio, it is sort of doing its last little bit before it comes back into your home sign of Sagittarius in November of 2018. So that will be incredible for pretty much every Sagittarius. Again, Jupiter is the planet of luck and benevolence and wonderful experiences, lavish experiences, good fortune. So it's getting close. Like again, November 2018, that comes into your sign and then will transit there for quite a while. And it will really bring in the part of you, Sagittarius, that thrives, that experiences humor, that experiences culture and worldly circumstances in a new and beautiful way. But it's kind of hard when it's in Scorpio because it's been an entire cycle of Jupiter, around the sun, coming back to your home. It can feel a little bit tired. It can feel a little bit worn out. It can feel a little bit non-successful even, but it's just because there kind of has to be a new environment to come through based on what you release here. So Jupiter in Scorpio deals with purge, deals with release, deals with letting go of that which no longer serves us, and finding our life force once more through doing that. And you Sagittarius perhaps are one of the signs who most severely has to do this because, again, it's coming back into your time when Jupiter goes into your sign. So the energy of Jupiter is more emphasized for you than most. We do have Neptune in Pisces as well. It's been there for a while. That's squaring you. So a lot of Sagittarius can feel very foggy, not quite know what your aspirations are, not quite know what your end game is, but still very activated by something. It's a good year in 2018 to specify sort of this navigation process that you're in with your dreams, with your aspirations, with your goals. Get down more into the logistics of what you're doing while at the same time not being overwhelmed or discouraged by what you see in black and white. It feels like, to me, what I see, like the visual image that I see of Sagittarius is like a blueprinting time. It feels like 2018 is blueprinting out what you're doing for like the next 12 years after November 2018 when Jupiter comes into your sign. So don't be overwhelmed if like success isn't just handed to you. A lot of you will get it, but it has to have kind of been a long time coming, or it has to have been something that you've been putting a lot of effort into for a while now. So if it's new, it might not feel that easy to thrive with it, but through making a blueprint, you can thrive in the future like you could not have anticipated. At the time of filming this video, we do have Mars in your sign, Sag, and that will be leaving in March 17th, right before the equinox. So that's very interesting to me, again, right before this turnover of new astrological year energy. Mars will be coming through and activating your purpose, your outward actions, your progressive nature in your own sign. So there could be like anger, or there could be sort of frustration towards the way that you are channeling and manifesting in the outside world. And I feel that through this period of time from January to March of 2018, you see the reality of situations and you sort of recalibrate your direction. There is like a shift in direction that I feel needs to happen for Sages, like even like a trip that you need to take or a change in scenery, going out of the country for a bit, or making plans to do this during this very beginning time of 2018, so that you can like redefine your purpose, because purpose is so emphasized for you. If you can like find your purpose or find your direction or your goals or your ambitions during 2018 to prepare for Jupiter being in your sign, you will be so successful, because you will have sort of put a little bit of groundwork and foundational work into that. And then the lucky benevolent Jupiter energy will come in about November, and I would say by like March of 2019 you could be in a completely new reality sphere that feels more lucky and benevolent than something that you've had in a long time. Okay. So as you may have seen, if you've seen other videos in this series, I'm trying to introduce 4 concepts that I channeled in for each sign. And the first one for you, Sag, is kind of like what I was just saying, navigating your desires and weeding out the ones which aren't giving you anything. So Sagittarius can be very eccentric, can have like a lot of rods in the fire, can do many things at once, have many goals, many purposes in all sectors of life. And it feels like it might be extreme coming into 2018, and there has to be a balance of it though too. There's sort of like, again, navigating this and really understanding what gives you the most in the long run, because I feel that you need to be entrepreneurial. Like I feel like you need to be doing many things, but it feels like it needs to be pulled back on just a little bit. Like there needs to be like more definition or more time at least put in, because I also feel that Sag needs to kind of be the hermit in 2018 as well, kind of away from people. So if you're too caught up in meetings or business deals or negotiations, it can kind of drain your energy that you need for like the next year. So really take some time to understand like what is benefiting you, what is working in your favor right now, what is helping you get to the higher long-term goal, and focus on that. Really polish that up, and don't be afraid to let go of some of the things that you know can't really give you anything in the future. The next concept that I'm feeling for Sagittarius is embracing divine direction and hermitage. So really accepting that there is another presence in your life, Sag. I feel that you feel very alone and isolated from this transit of Saturn in your sign throughout 2016 and 2017. It feels like you can only trust yourself, or it feels like you're thinking that you can only rely on yourself. But I do feel new soulmate connections coming in. I do feel and even more than human connection, I feel very divine and like godly type of connection coming in as well. So changes in religion, newfound appreciations of new religions for you could happen. I feel like traveling to religious centers or very spiritually encompassed locations are very healing in 2018. And ultimately just feeling like a connection of something higher than yourself feels that it cleanses so much for you and, again, calibrates your purposes right now. The next concept that I'm feeling for you is simply just setting the stage and preparing a foundation to thrive on. I feel that it's not too good for Sages to like jump into something or to be too trigger happy with putting content out. Like, for example, maybe you're a model, or you've been trying to set up some kind of like new social media content producer where you're putting out content regularly, and you're kind of trigger happy with it. And you're like, well, I enjoy so much what I'm doing that I'm just like staying up for 5 hours one night and producing something and putting it out like right when I get done, then not able to do something for like a week because I'm tired from that. It feels like there needs to be the stage, like what you're putting your content out on, the vendor that you're using, also your production schedule and your organizational method in producing content feels that that needs a lot of work for a lot of Sages, myself included. I have a lot of Sag as well. And it feels like through doing that, it's basically a way of setting a stage that you can actually thrive on. So when you put out the content, it's doing something for you. It's doing something for other people. There's like this wonderful integration of benefit from what you put out versus putting something out that is kind of haphazardly constructed and impulsive. That's definitely a keyword for Sag in 2018 is like impulsive content. Watch out for that. Try to really be in the planning stage a lot, because again, Jupiter in Scorpio, also Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, Mars will be in Capricorn as well. A lot of Capricorn activation this year. We have to kind of be organized and thought out. It's sort of like, like when people film movies or they film a TV show, they will like film maybe for like a month, and then there will be like 6 months worth of editing and post-production, then like a month of advertisement and campaign. What I'm feeling Sagittarius is doing, it's like you're filming the movie and then like 2 weeks later you're trying to put it out there, versus like really taking advantage of a lot of time to make your audience developed enough to have it. And of course, that's kind of an analogy, but try to apply that in an abstract way to your own life. For example, in a more like a mundane situation, I can see like Sagittarius in a relationship, in a codependent relationship, worried that they're like being cheated on, and instead of taking time to actually find evidence of it, they like really go crazy, really let their mouth get the best of them, even if it's not true, and it's like you have this thought, okay, I'm being cheated on, and then you're like, going to your significant other and you're like, I know you're cheating on me, I saw you, I have proof, when you don't even have that. It's like, really let what's coming out of you, what's developing within you, gestate. Like, it feels like a gestalt type of period for Sagittarius that has to happen in order for your content to become more wonderful. And a lot of you have already caught on to that. A lot of you have already done that through 2017. That was sort of the lesson of Saturn, I feel, was knowing what output is right and sitting on it, not being too impulsive with it. So if you've been able to do it, it feels like keep going with that flow, and even intensify it a little bit if you can. And the next concept that I feel for Sagittarius is forging a thrivable environment. I mentioned this in my Mars and Sag video that's in the top right-hand corner right now. And that deals directly with, again, setting a stage which allows you to, again, thrive as well. Sometimes what Sag can do, it's mutable fire energy. You appreciate strength and you appreciate the struggle. You love the hustle. Like, Sag loves to work for something, like kind of a workaholic sign sometimes, very energized, lots of energy to contribute to their jobs, to their careers, to their relationships. So sometimes if things are too easy, like, Sag won't take that way just because it's easy. Like, they want to basically climb the mountain, not just like take a helicopter to the top of the mountain. Especially, again, with Saturn being in Capricorn right now. It's important, Sag, for you to not overdo that and to, like, accept some benefic input, to accept some easy gain, I feel. And to also, again, going back to that first concept of navigating and weeding out appropriate desires, things that take too much work or too much labor for very small gain feel to need to be weeded out or calibrated differently. Like, change your vendor, change your audience, change your scope. Something, because what I feel that could be bad is like a cycle forms where Sag doesn't think that things can come easily, or thinks that everything has to become like this really traumatic, overwhelming, difficult experience to achieve success. That's a problem area with like Jupiter and Saturn doing what they're doing right now. And again, Sag is a lucky sign. It sort of gets more than it needs, and then again, like, lets it go too. That's the other thing with Sag. Sometimes maybe you get like a lot of money, or you get a big bonus or a promotion. It's not always meant for you to sit on. It's sometimes meant to be like put back out or invested into something else. Because sometimes when Sagittarius gets too much material, tangible stuff and they can't part with it, it basically, I don't know, it introduces like a lot of unpredictability in your life, because you're just not meant to be that weighed down by much. So anyway, Sages, to wrap up for this, your tarot card of the year for 2018 is Queen of Swords. So that makes perfect sense to me. A lot of you have a wonderful relationship with that archetype, like Sagittarius that I work with, love Queen of Swords. But at the same time, don't quite fit into it. Again, you're like a King or Queen of Wands energy. So you can kind of see Queen of Swords energy, and it's similar. Like, there's a similar aesthetic to Queen of Swords. And you're like, oh, I can do that. Like, I can mimic that. There needs to be more discretion, more logical input, more formulaic thought processing to come in. A lot of people are like, Queen of Swords is just this, like, I'm not going to take anything from anyone, and I'm going to, like, cut off all these relationships that aren't good. It's not so much that. For me, personally, Queen of Swords deals more with eliminating risks and eliminating things which inevitably are going to cause problems in the future. really thinking long term, really getting into the formula of whatever experience that you're having and realizing, okay, maybe even if this feels good now, how is it going to cause problems in the future? So it's just so perfect, Sagittarius, based on everything that I've said, like setting the stage, navigating these desires, weeding them out, allowing yourself to forge a thrivable environment, embracing more divine connection. All of that starts with, I don't know, kind of getting real with yourself and kind of not lying to yourself is a big thing. Queen of Swords deals with, cutting past lies, getting to the truth of a subject. And sometimes Sag can be guilty of this. If something gives you a certain feeling, you can allow yourself to think that it's bigger than it is, or allow yourself to prioritize it in a way that, like a Gemini, for example, would not. So, or an Aquarius would not. So it's important to gain that ability to know what's giving you something and to not necessarily cut it off because it's not giving you what you want, but to at least not be fooled that it's something that it isn't, right? Like, try to not be delusional this year. Again, Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces. This can create like a delusional collective mind frames in a lot of sectors. But you, Sag, are kind of called to get past that and to succeed and thrive through getting past that, okay? I really hope that this year ahead forecast resonated for those of you who listened. You can click the center of your screen right now to get the companion write-up. It basically goes month by month. There's a tarot card for each month. It gets into some of the collective energies, and you can download it straight to your smartphone or computer or whatever device you're on with one click of a button. I think that it's wonderful. I think it's very helpful, and I worked a lot on it, so I would so appreciate if you guys would check it out. And much love to you all. Subscribe, like, comment if this resonated. I'll be seeing you in the future. Bye.